Hey guys, so with vacation approaching here March 9th, I wanted to take the camera with me and get some really nice footage of a lot of stuff down in Key West. The boat, Duval Street, the sunset, southernmost point, you name it. We're going to be capturing quite a bit of stuff here. And of course, I need a way to transport my equipment. So the question is, what do I have? Well, important, I have the camera. I'm kidding. Of course, I need more than that. So I have the camera. I have a telephoto lens, a wide angle and macro lens, a very nice microphone with bag, a charger, a cleaning kit, a lens hood, a little tiny cheapo tripod, step ring converters, a shoe adapter, 2 bags for each of the lenses here, and a fundamental filter kit. So the question is, where is all this stuff gonna go? Well, I guess I could just as easily put it in a cardboard box, right? Just ship it down there? Nah, no, we got something a little better. Here, let me show you. So what did we get, you ask? Well, this. Yep, we got a cardboard box, just like I said. Wasn't I right? And guess what? You know what's really cool about this particular packaging? When I bought this thing, they were nice enough to pad it with this really cool case inside, you know? But like, I mean, it really keeps the shape of the box. It's nice to know that the box, when I receive it, is square. It's deep enough to hold all of my material. And of course, there's room for extra padding inside, which is probably a little bit softer than the case that it came with. So all my stuff literally just drops in here like this. I'll throw in a little bit of padding on top, close it up, and that's that. Isn't that easy? They were nice enough to send me a really nice, clean, square box. They even packaged the inside with something that would keep it square. That's amazing. Man, I love this service. I'm glad I paid about 60 bucks for this. This is a good $60 cardboard box. Quality. I recommend this. I'm totally kidding. If any of you actually thought that was a real thing, wow. Just wow. Okay, so no, that's not it. What is it is that case I was talking about. So it may look small, especially compared to my hand, but I'm going to zoom out here real quick, and I want to show you a comparison on the size of this guy to some of the other cases that I've bought and currently use for other things. Alrighty guys, so these are the cases that I have so far, and what I've been using are actually pretty good. This one is the old DJI Spark case that I got the first time around. He is unused, and he's very tiny, very small. There's nothing to him. He holds the basic kit, but not necessarily all of the Flymore combo, which is one reason I decided not to keep it. I actually ended up upgrading to the one over there, and this has just been sitting unused now for a couple months. I was going to use this for the camera kit until I realized I really couldn't fit everything in here that I wanted and have enough space. Even if I pulled out the foam and put in my own, it just wasn't the same. So we move on to the guy that is using the drone. This guy is very much used. I filled every single part of this. Everything's got something in it. It's perfect. It's the same type of foam that this is, and it works just fine. It is all waterproof. They all have rubber seals. They have the air pressure release, and everything works exactly as you'd expect. So I decided to go with the same style case, just a hair smaller, and this style doesn't have the pull latches like this one, or this one has a push-in latch. These simply pull up, but they lock in really tight. Listen to this. They latch in pretty hard. You still have the locks on the sides, and this one has foam up top, which is currently removable, I'll have to glue that in when I get settled. Now, the interesting thing about this one, and one of the main reasons that I got this, is the fact that it has, I don't know if you can see this, pluck and pull foam in grids. The grids are about a 1/2 inch. So what I want to do is I'll set my equipment on here in various different layouts, figure out what works, and then pull the foam so that everything fits in exactly as it should. Everything should fit in here. That's the idea. So I'm probably, no guarantees, but I'm going to try here to make a video about me sorting things out. I'll put everything on top of here and move it all around, and I will figure out what works. I'll speed the video up so it'll be in time lapse, and we'll end up seeing if this case actually works. If it doesn't work, I'd hate to say I have to buy a new one, but being I'm so close to vacation coming up, I pretty much have to live with it. So if I have to pack a little bit less to take with me, so be it, and I'll deal with it when I get back. But I think this will be just fine. I'm going to take the measurements real quick so you guys know what it is. So for those of you that want to get something like this, we'll start off with a small one. I did measure, and this one is way too small. This guy is 12 inches wide, 8 inches deep, well, front to back, and I'm going to say you maybe get 4.5 inches of height. Not much, not worth it. I'm going to pass. If I were to buy something like this, which is just a hair bigger than this guy, this one kind of sits somewhere in the middle. This guy is 13.5 inches wide, 9.5 inches front to back, and will probably give you about 4.5 inches deep. It's about the same in depth. Now, our good guy here, this guy is somewhere in between. So this guy is 12 inches wide, about 9 inches front to back, and about 5 inches deep. So you gain an extra 1/2 inch. It doesn't sound like much, but when you look at the depth of the camera, you want it to sit down in a ways. You've got the thickness of the foam up top, but you don't want anything pressing against it. This will probably do just fine. My biggest concern, and let me pull this up real quick. Actually, let me move the camera in and then I'll show you. Okay, so I decided not to go ahead and do a time-lapse video of trying to install this stuff. I'll do that on my own. You guys don't really need to see that. It gets kind of monotonous and boring. But I'll show you some of my thoughts really quick now that I have this out in the open. My biggest concern was the microphone. How am I going to put this guy in here that he's not in the way of something? Because if you look, he is almost the size, or almost the width of the case, just by himself. The next biggest item was the camera. And this little strap on the side didn't really help. You can't take it off, and you really wouldn't want to. Let's close that. He's the only real way to hold this thing. Otherwise, you just kind of hope that you have a good grip on it. So where does he sit? Well, I'm kind of thinking that he would sit a bit like that. I can even put him a little more to this side. So I think that's not too bad. That gives me about a 1/2 inch gap between the tip of the microphone here and the back of the camera, which still leaves me a 1/2 inch here and about a 1/2 inch in the back. Okay, that's not too bad. Now remember, I can still set this up like this. I can set it, let's get that out of the way. I can set it vertically, but can I lay him this way? No. He is just too tight. Oh my gosh, by more than I'm comfortable with. He literally fits to the edge of the plastic with no foam surrounding him, so that is not going to go. So let's try and turn this around this way. Okay, I like that. Gives me a little bit of extra room up top here. I still have a 1/2 inch between, and I've got all of this extra space here to put more stuff in. So the next important part is going to be, obviously, the charger. I need some way to recharge this thing on the go. Well, honestly, this can go a little bit down below the front of the microphone. So this will likely come off like this, and I will make a little pocket just below that, and all that can fit under there like that. That's not bad. Okay. Next important piece is the tiny little tripod. Now the fact that this guy has bendable legs is kind of nice, but I don't want to put him in the case bent. I do still want to take him because I'm going to want to mount on, say, the rails of the boat and various other things and still get a good shot. So this guy has to go. Can't go here, but he can kind of go there. No real particular way I need to put him, but I'd like to give around everything at least a ½ inch of foam just to make sure everything is padded nicely. So that's not too bad. Next, let's get our wide angle and telephoto lenses in here. Now these guys are a little bit big. They tend to be a bit of a problem. So they're going to have to go in at an angle. Now they can sit literally up against each other because they have covers on them. I'd rather have them sit like this so that one's not pushing in on the other, because right below this soft base is the lens itself, and this is pretty soft, so I don't want to be pushing or scratching that glass if I don't have to. So we're going to put them face to face, and they can fit. Can they fit this way? Ooh, that'd be really nice if they could. It looks like I can probably do that. The only thing I'd have to do is line up my tripod like this so I have a little bit of space in there. So we're going to imagine the tripod is actually vertical like that, even though he's leaning just because of gravity for the moment. So now that leaves us the rest of this little space. What I do not need are every single step ring. I only need one, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I think, honestly, I can temporarily screw it onto the front of the camera just to be able to have a place to put it without having to make a whole new section or a hole for it. What I might do is put it, say, behind one of the lenses in that same pocket. That'll take the stress off the camera, so I can literally take the camera out and start filming. So imagine those went in. I'm not going to put them in this second. Next, we're going to have the shoe adapter. This is what connects the microphone to the back of the camera. I prefer this have its own little slot so it's not banging around or hitting anything. I think I would be okay, honestly, if it even sat in with the charger. So I know it's not in the right place, but I'm going to say it's going with the charger. I'm just going to set it here for general area's sake. Next, we're going to have the lenses. Now, the cool thing with the lenses, let me open the right side here, is that these have their own Velcro bag. So they already are quite protected. Now you'll notice it's already too big for just about anywhere. I can slightly fold them like this, although I kind of wish I didn't have to. But if need be, I can fold over the bag like this, and I can stick the bag like that. Actually, I can take the bag like this, vertically, and now I've got another section right here for some more stuff. So to act as a placeholder for that, I'm simply going to put this bag, which I'm probably not going to use these, just to give out the rough amount of area that's going to take up. Now, an important part that I need to take is some amount of this cleaning kit. I'm not exactly sure how much of this I'm going to use, but I at least want the bulb and the brush. I can probably use the cleaner and some tissue paper behind it. If I had a little baggie or something I could put them in, that'd be kind of nice just to keep everything clean. But that should all pretty much fit right in here. The bulb isn't very tall. It's maybe 6 inches. It can sit at an angle. It's not too bad. I'll probably put it in a bag just to be able to keep the pieces clean and clear. I know I'm just weird like that. But I don't need, say, this little package of tissue paper. It does have its own bag that everything could go in, but I don't have that kind of room here. It has a cleaning cloth, cleaning fluid. I'm not going to use the cotton swabs. So there's a bit of thinking and preparation to go into this piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at taking the bulb itself. Let me take some of this out of here. And the bulb itself, honestly, can even cross over into that section. That would be fine with me. This is a really nice cloth. I probably don't need the brush very much. I'm not going to be working in that kind of condition, but I think I'm going to take it anyway just to be safe. I'm not taking the cotton swabs. I am going to take the cleaning fluid, which is different than glasses cleaner, I believe. I can probably tell you by smelling it, but that's kind of weird. So I will fit that in here. I'm not taking the bag, and I'm not taking the small thing of lens tissue paper. So all of this needs to fit in this case. Well, that's going to be interesting, and that's going to take me quite a while to figure out exactly how I'm going to mishmash this stuff in here. The smaller the case I can use, the better. I'd rather not have to haul around big, heavy things, especially when we're traveling on the plane. Not just commercial, but our, well, not mine. I'm not here to make it sound like I'm rich or anything. I'm definitely not. But a family member of my girlfriend's owns an airport in Gainesville, Florida, and it's their private jet that we take from their airport down to Key West, and we stay on their boat. We have a boat here, but it's not anything like the trawler that they have. But size matters. So we don't want anything huge. If I can fit all this into something small, perfect. If I can't, I'm going to have to go with something a little bit bigger. I can probably resell this somewhere just to make up some money or make some money back. You can always buy the pluck and pull foam on the inserts. You can buy that separately. You can buy the upper part, just cut it to shape and say, look, it's a brand new case. As long as you haven't obviously destroyed the outside, then everything should be good. So you just, after you're done using it, you pull out the foam because obviously it may not fit the next person's needs. You put in a new set so they have a fresh pluck and pull for them, and you sell it off and use that money to go toward purchasing a larger one. So obviously you'll have a little bit out of pocket. That's cool with me. If I need to go bigger, I guess I will. But if I can fit everything in here, that's cool. Now I have faster internet now. I just upgraded to 100 megabit internet from 12 megabit I think I had. It's not fantastic. So I'm going to upload a previous video that I didn't get to finish at work. I'm going to edit this guy, and I'll probably have him uploaded tonight, hopefully with the layout finished of how I got everything packed in here. So I will see you guys here in maybe 2 hours or so. It might take me about that long to get this finished. So, yep, I will be back, guys. Alrighty, guys, so I really wanted to quickly point out what would happen if you mistakenly got, say, a tear in the middle of your pluck and pull when you had a gap or a side that you wanted to keep intact, and obviously you don't want there to be some kind of weird spacing there. You'd like it to be, as solid as possible, but say you end up with a tear by mistake. How, being foam, would you glue this back together? Well, I actually found an extremely easy solution, but there's a tricky way to do it, and it's not maybe exactly what you think. And that is to use Loctite gel. Not the liquid, but the gel, and I'll show you why. What you're going to do is we're going to take it. You can see it's already starting to come out on its own. And on the surface, on just one side, you're going to take it and you're literally going to leave it as a blob. You see what I'm doing here? Just like this. And leave it fairly thick. Leave it about the size of the nozzle where it comes out. And get as close to the edge as you can get. The more surface area you can get, the better. But you don't need to put it on so thick that it just smooshes out everywhere. Okay, so now that you have that, what you're going to do, let me refocus this, is simply push it back together like this, kind of wiggle it together, and that's it. Now just find some way to hold it. You can put it back in its case, you can do whatever, just hold it like that. You don't have to crush it together, you don't have to do this with it. Just put it together to where it's keeping its shape, but it can't come back apart, and leave it for 20 minutes to be safe. This will keep your foam intact. What happens, and I believe I have a piece over here that I already did. Oh, I got all over my pen. So I tried two different things here. With this is the side with the gel. Look at that. In fact, I have it so strong that I can actually pull off chunks of the original foam. It's not going anywhere. Now, I didn't do the entire surface. As you can tell, I missed just a little bit down here. But, yeah, and I didn't do this side. I just did this edge so I could see if it actually would work. Look at that. Works like a charm. Now, I also tried roofing sealant, and it's okay, but look, it pulls right apart. The trick is to find something that doesn't soak in, that actually stays on the surface and adheres to both pieces equally. And that's it. Loctite gel in particular. You can get this stuff at an auto parts store, Walmart, whatever, but the Loctite gel is the perfect solution for that, and that'll keep your pieces from coming back apart. Now, if you pull on them hard enough, obviously they will. Dang, it's not as easy as it looks. There we go. They will eventually come back apart, but look, you can see it even took a chunk out of this piece right here just to make it come apart. And it's relatively solid. It will harden up a little bit more by the time it's done, but obviously once you take it apart, you can't just stick it back together. You'd have to re-glue it. So yes, there is a way to glue your pluck and pull foam back into place. Obviously this hasn't dried completely, but you can already tell. I put it in this little gap right here that it's already not wanting to come apart. And I didn't put quite so much in that one corner, but wherever I did put it, look at that. I can pull everything else apart, but that. See? Now that's not long, it's only been a couple minutes. If you let this sit without disturbing it for 20 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer for that matter, you will be able to put your walls, even if they're just one block wide, you can do one block, you can do 2 blocks, it'll give you extra strength, but you can also do just one. So just wanted to point that out. I did figure this out kind of by accident, but yeah. And while I'm here, I'm going to show you guys my current progress, and this is what I've got so far. I've taken quite a bit of time. As you can tell, I've cut plenty of pieces out of this thing, and this will hold everything. So a general layout is I've got the camera, and this is why I don't use the cell phone. So I have the camera, the charger, the cable, and the shoe adapter, the lenses and step ring, the blower. By blower, I mean this guy. I just turned him around inside out for making him smaller. My lenses, so my ND8, my CPL, and my UV filter lens. They all fit in just like that, all the right side up. This back part simply holds the cleaning bottle. My microphone goes all the way back here, and this slot cut out is for the side of the mic. It's for this little piece right here. And I can stick, I guess also in here, like some batteries, because the microphone does use a single AA battery. So I've got a brand new pack of 2 here. I'll take that with me. So yeah, everything looks like it'll fit in here. And I did intentionally make this double thick. As you can tell, there's two pieces here instead of one. All the way around the camera, except for here, which in the inside I had something filling this in, and all the way around the lenses is all double. I didn't want it to be this thin stuff and then smash up against, say, the side of the case. So that was completely intentional on that part. I didn't care so much about the microphone. Obviously, if the handle's here, you want the heavy part at the bottom when you're carrying it, so I'm simply going to take this out. Well, not with one hand, but I'll take this out, I'll spin it around 180, and the camera will be at the bottom. So all the heavy stuff is down there, and this isn't trying to collapse down and everything else. But yeah, I think this will work. Also, I took cutouts that I had, like I took out from this particular spot, and as you can tell, I kind of hacked it with a razor blade here. But this was at the bottom, and then I cut off the upper portion of it, and just to make it not so unsightly, I turned it over because this used to be the bottom, and then that will be the part that you actually see, and put the camera down on. So you just kind of nicely tuck it down there in the bottom. And now it has something with a little bit extra padding, comes up to the top, and then the upper foam lays down on top of that and keeps it nice and snug in all directions. So yeah, once that dries, I will put everything back together and show you what this looks like when it's completely filled up with all of its parts. So I've got everything done, and I do have a couple pieces that are still drying with the glue, but I will try to generically set stuff in here and give you a general idea of how this layout is going to work. It's good for now. I can get replacement foam for super cheap. This pluck and pull for this size, actually a little bit longer, 12 by 13 by 3-inch depth, is like $11. So you can always redo this, don't ever worry about that. If you really screw it up, that's fine. If you change cameras and it's a different shape, that's cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting everything away, and I'll show you how this works. So we'll start with the major one, and that is the camera. This guy is specifically going to go in this pocket, but he's going to face with the lens toward the double thickness. So he's literally just going to drop right in here. And you'll notice that he is tight, that's fine, but he does stick up just a little bit because I want the foam on the back to be able to hold it in place. Now yes, I understand that there is a little bit of flex right there and a little bit right here. That's fine. If things are tight, it keeps them from bouncing around. That's intentional. Next, we're going to put in the two lenses. Those are going to drop right in here. I have that one backwards. With the two soft pieces facing each other. So we'll drop one in, down to the bottom, which that should be relatively close. It's right about there. And now this one, I should also mention the thickness of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. This, for the lenses, is a 4 by 4. So 4 wide, 4 deep. And there they go. Like I said, you want a little bit of space all the way up to the top. Next, we're going to take the charger, and that is what fills in this gap. He will fit all the way down in, all the way to the bottom. The shoe adapter is going to go right in there with him. In fact, I'm going to take that shoe adapter and put him behind it, just so it won't rattle quite as much. Just like that. And the cable for it will go right down here, like that. So that's perfect so far. Batteries, I was kind of thinking about where to put them. I think I'm just going to end up sticking them right there. That's fine with me. Next we have the blower bulb, and that's what this 3x3 grid here is for. This, being as I'm letting the glue trying to dry right here, I'm going to leave him out for right now, but he will sit all the way down in again, he'll be a little bit tight, but that's fine. He'll sit all the way down in there, and, well, I'm not going to mess with the glue too much right now. But yeah, he'll sit in there. So I'll just leave him sitting up like this so you remember where he's at. We have my filter kit with the bag still, and that's going to sit right in here like that all the way down to the bottom. Now I can probably take out a little more at the bottom if I need to, but I think that's about where I want it to sit. Next, we're going to bring in the little tripod. Basically, we got to straighten him out, just make sure he's basically as straight as we can get him. And he's going to sit right across the top like this. No real great specific way to make him sit. But remember, the upper foam will come down and hold him in place. So he can sit right there. The cleaning brush can literally... Actually, the cleaning brush probably could have gone in first because it tucks down just a little bit, like that. Then this guy sits on top, just like that. It is kind of a weird struggle. I didn't get these totally straight, unfortunately. This is going to be a really long video. I can already tell. But there it is. Okay. So that sits in there. The bottle of cleaner fits in a 2x2 grid over here and literally just drops in, takes up just that little corner that was otherwise totally useless. And of course, the big guy. So this pretty much fit edge to edge. So this mic is now going to go, and make sure it's still off. This little extra tip that sticks out right here with the extra base right here, that's why I have this little cutout. Because that's right where he's going to sit, so it's not too tight, but it will still go in. So this guy, when all is said and done here, and I know it's tight because I'm still trying to glue that together, so I really don't want to mess with it too much until it dries, but we'll get him in. Just kind of work him down a little bit, work the foam front in. It'll take just a little bit of effort. And there it is. So it sits pretty well flat. It will go down farther, but there's really no need to make it go all the way down. That just tears up the foam more. And yeah, that's all for that. So, with the exception of my blower, which I guess I'll kind of get him down in there real quick. There we go. So this is, as far as I can tell, I think I got everything out of here. And a step ring, I'll just stick the step ring like in between the two lenses or something. So that'll be just fine there. But yeah, this is how compact everything can be. I know I've got a little bit of kind of like dead space here. I could actually pull out 1, 2, 3 pieces right here. And take my step ring and just cut out down maybe 2 inches or about halfway down or so. Of those 3, drop the step ring in that slot so it's not getting mixed up with this. It's still protected. In fact, I could actually take, at that rate, all 3 step rings, drop them down in that set right there, and call that a day. So what I'm actually going to do, and I do like that idea, I'm going to take these out. And that'll allow me just a little more space to put the last of what I need in here. And you'll get to see that, how that works really quick. The trick to pulling this stuff apart is that you want to do it without destroying anything. And that's not as easily done as it is said. I butchered that phrase all to nonsense. So I'm going to take out these 3. Well, that leaves me with next to no support. So it's going to be this one all the way down, or most of the way down, I guess. comes out. That one comes out. That one's out. And this is the problem of recording with a tripod, which is why I need an overhead. All right. And that one. And that one. That should give me this little space right here. So now the trick is to get down here and separate these foam pieces down only as far as I need them to go without tearing anything else. And that was part of the problem that I came across, which is why I had to glue some of this together. So let's see if I can do this. I may have to take everything out and try it. Okay, so that's not going to be as easy as pulling it out from where it's at. I'll have to take everything back out of here. But my step rings will go in here, and everything else, it all fits in here very nicely. It closes up, it's nice and tight. You won't hear anything moving around. It's watertight, so if it falls off the boat or something, not a big deal. This is great. I love this. So yeah, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want any more details on this, or have any other suggestions or a different type of maybe thicker, not closed cell, but still open cell pluck and pull foam of some kind, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching, stay in tune, and good night.